Hey engineering students, this is Dr. Brenzy here. And for our truss project, I wanted to give you a little bit of a safety video and a how-to video on creating the different styles of joints that you're going to run into. So we have three types of joints. We have a butt joint, which I haven't pictured here, but I am going to show you how to assemble it. Up here I have a notched joint. Okay, and over here I have an overlap joint. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make each of those joints. I also need to go through some safety features here. One of the things that you're going to be using, especially if you're going to make a notched or a overlap joint, is a utility knife. Okay. And we also need to make sure that we are wearing our safety goggles when we are cutting this wood. Even though it's just popsicle sticks, there are little pieces of wood that flick up every once in a while, and we want to make sure that none of those ends up in our eye. Otherwise, you'll have quite a bad day, I'll have quite a bad day, and your parents will just be mad at me. So we don't want that. Okay, so how to operate a utility knife if you've never done this before. This utility knife slides in and out by pressing on this lever over here. I can push it and pull it back. And if you zoom in closely, if you look closely here, this has different notches on it. And this blade was actually meant to be snapped at those little notches right there so that you can always have a sharp blade. But we don't want it to snap on us, so we want to make sure that we do not have a full notch showing here. Otherwise, there's a possibility that it could snap on us, and that wouldn't be too good. So I am going to move it out until just half of the notch shows. That's as far as I want it to go. You could even pull it in and have it this far out if you want to be even more sure that it's not going to snap on you. But this far, I think, should be okay. And then what we want to do, once you have the desired length of blade out, then there is a locking mechanism right at the back here. And when you pull that out, this blade can no longer move up and down. It is locked in. And then to unlock it, you just push that lever up, and now it can move up and down again. Okay, so that's how you use this utility knife. Okay. The other things that I'm going to ask you to do while you are cutting into these is to make sure that you are using some sort of soft surface like a notepad, the back of a notepad or the back of a notebook, so that we don't scratch up our precious tables in here. And then I also have these C-clamps that I'm going to allow you to use. I have a limited number of them, so we might need to share among us, but I'll see what I can do about making sure everybody has one. So I have this clamped down to the notebook and the table. That frees up one of my hands to hold the other side down. Oops, to hold the other side down while I'm doing some cutting here. All right. So I want to show you how to make a notched joint first. I didn't actually glue this one, so I can take it apart. Oop, I don't know if I can take it apart with just one hand. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So what you see two individual popsicle sticks, and each of them has a notch that goes halfway into the wood. And to assemble this, you just insert one notch into the other notch with a little bit of glue. Doesn't take much glue to get a notch joint to join, and then assemble it. Sorry, I keep on going off camera there. All right, so I'm going to show you how to make those notches for this notch joint here. So I need to set my camera down here and angle it just the right angle. Okay, and I need to put my glasses on. All right. So what I am going to do, I am going to hold the one end of the popsicle stick down with my thumb. The other end is being held down by the clamp. And what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to just make what are called scores. And these are just little marks, just thin marks into the wood, just enough to see where I need to cut. Just like that. Okay, so if I pick up the camera again and move it over here, and if I get this into focus, what you'll see, if I can hold this still, is you will see two notches right there. Okay, those two little notches are going to guide my utility knife. And those are where I'm going to make my cuts. So what I'm going to do, let me put my camera back down. See if I can stand it up correctly. No, it doesn't want to cooperate. No, come on, camera. Come on, camera. There we go. Now let's focus. There we go. Okay. It doesn't take a lot of strength to do this, okay? So I'm not going to be Superman and try to press down with this knife. Because if I do that, the one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to slip this way, okay, and end up either cutting myself or somebody else. So you have to watch out what is behind you here. So make sure there are no elbow partners or anything like that. If you need to use a lab table to get plenty of space, go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to let the knife do the work, okay? So I'm just going to repeat that same cut that I put on the score over and over again. And eventually I'm just going to create a groove, and it's going to get deeper and deeper. Okay, and I'm just pushing down and then pulling back. That's all I'm doing. And it'll take a little while. Okay. But you always want to be in control of the knife. And notice that the direction that I'm cutting is away from any other part of my body. Okay? So I'm not sitting behind here like this and cutting toward me. Okay? I'm cutting perpendicular to myself. That way if the knife slips or if I lose control of the knife, I'm not going to end up hurting myself. Okay? Alright, now it looks like I am at least halfway through here. This might take a little long, but let the knife do the work. Okay. Don't need to be Superman here. Always in control of the knife. Alright, and there we go. I can kind of hear a little bit of crunching, which tells me that I'm near the end. Alright. There we go. Okay, so that notch, or that part of my notch is completely through. Alright, there we go. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to the other score that I made. Okay, and I'm going to pause the video to do that. So I'll see you back when I have that done.